of teaching. My publications were adopted, seminars were conducted, where I had taken the students to the UN also. But after coming, sorry, after coming to Bangalore, Bangalore is having a different vibe. This is a city where you will find the all classes of people, and the mentality and that mindset of the people are completely different. You can take it as a small world in itself. So when I landed in Bangalore, I saw that instead of going to the colleges, I can initiate it with the school and can give that direction to the students, where I thought that this direction is very important for the students to give them. For example, model parliament. Model parliament is a concept that I brought in Bangalore, and now also very few schools they organize it. I had taken students to UN, and now the students have started making communities in UN with UN. So, coming to the school, it was not a difficult journey, definitely. Yes, the level of language that I was using in the colleges, I had to come down to the school students, but the students are excellent. You should see that how vibrantly and how excellently they accept, and we should not underestimate the students of 21st century. They are much more brilliant than what we expect, what we understand, and what we foresee. They cross all levels and bars. I will give you an example. This last year, I had represented our country into a few countries. Like there was a principal exchange program where we had visited Finland and Sweden, Norway. So in Finland, we say that the world's best education system is there, and they are the happiest people. Yes, definitely, with a small population, that is always possible. Looking here in India, we cannot ever make those systems possible. Yes, few fragments, few segments we can adopt looking at the conditions of our country. And while you're talking about this introduction of education, or my inculcation into the junior classes, so when they came, there was a project given to a student of grade 8. And while we were talking about the human rights, that child has visited to almost every country's website, and he has made a project report of 240 pages, where he has written about the German Hitler and the India's partition, then Nigeria, then Kenya, and he has made a report of 16 countries. So, of a grade 8 student, when we had given, so here you can see that with little kind of help, with little kind of assistance, and a little kind of support, encouragement, these children can go beyond bars. So that was one of my liking and my changing direction and joining into the schools, where the more participation of the students is there, and you can have more things for the students to show and enlighten them that what they are doing. Because the students of 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, these are the students where they have a very hazy future, career paths, what they want to do, how they will do it. Parents, they want that every house should have an engineer and a doctor. So the students are not having the vistas. But nowadays there are the paradigm of the vistas, and the opening of the job opportunities and employment opportunities and career vistas have grown in multi layers. Multiple things have come up. So the students need more guidance, the students need more help and that encouragement, and somebody should be there to tell the students that how these things can make happen, or what are that clarity vision to be given to the students. So I felt this is much more interesting than teaching the elder students in the colleges and in the universities, where they are already into the subject. They are having the clarity that what they are going to do in the future. So that was one point of interest that brought me here to the schools.
Yeah, that is really good to know. And however, the basic education is more important. So, in fact, the teachers who are working at the school level, they are making the future. We just say that like I'm in a college, so I say yes. I have taught so many engineers and all, but actually the basic education it is more important, and yes, people should work at it. And it was really good to know like you're shifting from the universities to the school level, and it is an interesting thing, of course, the teaching the young minds again.
Yes.
And something more like when I was reading your profile, you are a double gold medalist but double PhD. So I would like this to know what is this about double gold medalist and how did you go for double PhD?
Okay, so I don't know. There is always an jolt within. If sometimes, like after once my education, I did my first PhD. First, I will talk about the double gold medalist. Yes, in graduation, I had my honor subject as political science, and in masters, it was political science with specialization with international relations. So both the times I was the university topper and hence a gold medalist. So yeah, first PhD I have done with international relations from Sambalpur University, where again I got merit points in all my papers, and it was very interesting because now when we say that the world has shrunk into a global village, that global relationship, that global establishment has is happening. So it is very important for us to also know what are the criteria, what are the procedures, what are the requirements, what are the parameters, what are the rubrics, where all these things can be maintained and is going ahead with that. So that was my passion and my fascination. So I completed my first PhD with that, and coming down to the admin part as a principal, and then handling Ignite Brenner International also as a director to that. And so I thought that when I'm doing this HR part also, let me be a little more understanding, let me go deep into its subject matter, that how the things happen and what is HR and what is MBA about, all of it, because henceforth I will be a part and parcel working with all these theories and aspects. So I completed my second PhD from ISBM, and this always there is a want, a wish to learn more. See, education is something and learning is something that has no end. Till the last day of your life, you can educate yourself, you can learn something or the other. So I believe in that fact. And when we see the changing world, so dynamic it has become, every day there are changes. Today the version of the digital platform also, if you see, like last year I got my MI certificate, Microsoft certificate, and this year it is a different aspect altogether. So this year again I have to sit for the exam and get the license and the certification for it. So the world has become so dynamic that if you are not learning, you are not running with it, not running, I will say eloping, you are not doing with it, then you are left behind. And I am completely not agreed to be left behind in this race of new education, new learning. So every time I make a point that wherever I get an opportunity, I keep learning and I keep adding to the knowledge, so that where I am as the center point, from there I can always touch the hearts of my children, my pupil, my staff, my people, giving them that kind of knowledge and information that is required for them to keep abreast with this changing world. Even in the kitchen, if our knife goes sharpless, we either change it or we sharp it. It is in the same way. We have completed our education since long back, so this time we it is a time now for to get ourselves abreast with the new things that is happening. So more and more we do, the more and more the vistas are coming up, the knowledge is coming up, and the plethora of knowledge has increased so much that every time you take your pick, you see that hard, there are lot many things that you are still not aware of, not known about. So yes, that is the journey of ever learning thing, that I think that is one of my basic policy in my life. So I keep on taking up the new things whichever is possible on my part, and I keep grabbing those ideas for my children, for my people.
Yeah, that's a really good thing to know, ma'am, that you keep on upgrading yourself. And yes, we have to, because especially being an educator, well, it is applicable for everyone that we should keep on upgrading ourselves. We should keep on learning what is going on new. And especially when we are in the education field here, it is very important because what we have studied was different, and what the students now they are studying in their curriculum it is entirely different, and we have to upgrade ourselves according to that. And just, ma'am, like you were talking about Bravery International. So, like you also had a director for Ignite Bravery International. International. So, what is that? And you're also secretary to International Students
Students
Forum.
Forum.
So, what is that, ma'am? Could you still share some details about it?
Yeah, surely. Since last 13 years, I am the secretary to the International Students Forum, where the students of universities, different universities, are a part of it. Any student who is interested to clear their doubts and have was wish to have little more interested informations regarding their subject. My subject is political science and international relations and public policy. If you see, I have completed my public policy paper from Virginia University of US as well. So this is a group or an organization where the students of all universities are connected. So I have become a nocturnal animal nowadays, because when there is a night in India, it is a morning outside. So every time, whenever there is a knock by a student, it comes up, and we have to clarify the doubt and ask the student that what is their doubt and how that can be looked up, or how that can be solved, or what are the new things that they have to learn under that topic, what are the books, what are the publications that they can do. So all these things are there. So now I am very rich with my students fraternity. You talk about any university, I can give you one or two students of mine. So it is in that way. So that is from the last 13 years I'm into this post. So finally I had asked them that not to give me or to continue me in the same post, because it is actually taking the entire resting period. So but it is very interesting. You come to know about many universities, how they have taken up the challenges. I can give you the example of Japan. There is a student who had recently told about the public policy that are changing, and how this public policy for Japan, for Asia, in contrast and comparison to the European and US public policy, how it is creating the ripples, and whether this will be accepted by the people or not. And if it is accepted, what will be the clauses for it, how the constitution is going to be amended. And if it is not accepted by the people, then what are the changes and the consequences that will be brought in. So but I think almost 6 to 7 days we had a good discussion on this, talking about the constitution, the UN charters, and the public policy that is coming universal. So certain public policies are universal in character. So if that is adopted, how it will be taken with the Asian context, in the European context, and in the UK and US context. So that was a good discussion. So that is how we keep us enriched. Also speaking to people, you also come to know. And Ignite Brenner International is a completely coaching and mentoring organization where we mentor and coach people. I'm also a CBSE resource person, where I go to different schools and colleges. Like every month, there are certain schools there. What we get from the CBSE, where we go and train them, mentor the teachers of those schools. And it will be always a combination of 2 3 schools where we have to go and mentor them, that how to take up. Because now your topic is very nice, beyond education, because now everything is not based on the syllabus and curriculum. We have to see beyond it, a complete holistic development of the children, a complete 360 degree. We don't have to see that what they are getting, the concepts that are there in the book, we don't have to see that. We have to see that what are the competencies and the skills, the soft skills, the morals, the ethics that they are also learning. That is much more important than what the curriculum and the syllabus of science, maths, English, and the rest all the subjects is giving them. So this holistic development and the holistic learning and the knowledge acquiring is very, very essential into this 21st century. And I think in the 21st century skills, this holistic development holds the first position. Tomorrow I'm invited as a key speaker into the International Education Summit, Quality Education in Sri Lanka. So there also I'm talking on education of for sustainable development and this and green education. Why we are doing this? So there are certain things that now we it is high time that we have to think on that, or else the earth will again be in the book of history. So we have to see that how to from the grassroots level to the students of grade 1 and above, we are inculcating the thoughts, the views of protecting this earth. And that is the and education is the only means, the only way through which we can inculcate and accommodate this thought process among to within this young minds, where they are going to take this world ahead. So it becomes a very interesting a topic to research on, topic to speak on, and a topic to ponder on. We have to speculate micro level and the most micro, mini micro level also. We have to see that how we are going to make it happen. So yes, that is important. Beyond education, we have to see the holistic development, the 360-degree development of the children, where they have to give importance to this millennium goals that is being given by UNESCO and UN, and this sustainable development, where we have to make the children aware that with the growth, we have to see that the resources are limited. So with we have to keep going with this limited resources. So it is through this education, and coaching and mentoring is a part and parcel of our activities that we take on and carry on.
Yeah, that's wonderful, ma'am. And then, like you were talking about education and sustainable development goals. So it is said that education can help to achieve the SDGs. So what do you think
Sorry,
about it?
education helps.
Education is we can be used. Education is the like it plays a key role in achieving the SDGs. Like we have planned, it has been given the 17 SDGs, but it has been and we say that we'll be achieving it by 2030.
Yeah,
So what
2030.
will the role of education in achieving all these SDGs?
See, very two important things here to understand. And if we understand that 2030 will be a longer period, we can achieve that prior to it also. Now, it depends on how faster we are going to adopt these measures. Now, what education is going to do? Education, I think, is the only means through which we are going to participate or motivate or to bring this younger generation and the students into this process, because these are the future generation for us. These are the life wires that we are dealing with. So with education only we can make it possible that we can tell the students. How many students today in our country or in the world, they can talk about the sustainable development goals, but everybody is aware there is shortage of food, there is shortage of greenery, there the climate conditions have changed completely, the earth is having completely different conditions of living and survival today. So to we all are experiencing these things, but no, we don't know, the students, they are not aware, the people are not aware that how with an effort, if a person is switching off the light and the fan in their house also, they are giving their part to it, they are participating into this SDGs and its goal fulfillment in 2030. So I think education is one thing that we are going to make it inside the thinking process, the pedagogy itself, that yes, we have to protect the earth, and to protect the earth, these are certain minute, small steps: keeping the taps closed, switching off the lights, switching off the fan, small things, but we have always ignored it. People have always ignored it because they never gave any importance to that. But now, when it is very clear and evident, it is vibrantly evident, I should say here, that now these changes are visible everywhere in all the countries, whether it is developed, underdeveloped, or developing nations. Every nation is facing the aftermath and the consequences of this. So, education, I think, is the only means through which, in the institutions, we can inculcate and bring this thought process into the students. And these students itself, they will take it ahead. It was very amazing in Helsinki, in Kauniainen, the government school. We met four students. One student was from Indian origin. These four students, they have started a small organization where they had started collecting few things which they are now distributing to the continents of Africa. And to the 16 to 21 schools are there where they are providing not only the solar energy through chips to those schools where these chips are allowing them to make their school lighted in the evening, because they are students where they go to the evenings school sessions. So you can imagine and understand what kind of revolution we are bringing, and this will happen through this kind of this education that we are going to make. And once we put this, our front generation, the upcoming generation, this thought process, they are taking up it in a magnificent way that you we cannot even imagine. I just give you an example. They are now providing those solar chips to those countries, and 16 to 21 schools are there in in Kenya, Namibia, and in South Africa, and few more other countries also, where the students are utilizing it. And they are not only giving that flow of electricity, but they are also providing them with digital knowledge that how things can take ahead. So I think education into the campus, if we bring this is a huge think tank. The students are only the think tank. We don't want diplomats and other people to get indulged into all these things. The think tanks, the original and the actual think tanks, are our students, our campuses, our school institutions, which will take it ahead. So just we have to show them the light, we have to show them the path, we have to give them the idea, and they are going to take it ahead. And little bit of guidance, how things can fall on.
Yes, ma'am. And like, ma'am, you are an educator, you are a trainer, and you have been representing as a speaker in so many countries at international forums and all. So, when you're doing all this, have you ever faced any kind of challenges or any kind of difficulties in doing the work?
Yeah, challenges are definitely there. Without challenges, it cannot happen. No, nothing is smooth, nothing comes in a platter to you. Everywhere, challenges are there. Challenges, speaking of challenges, we used to find challenges earlier where India was considered as a third world nation. So when they used to talk about India, the kind of treatment, the kind of attitude you will face was little disheartening. So, but now with Prime Minister Modi coming up and the way India has recovered its forefront, every aspect, socially, economically, politically, definitely, the way we have reshaped, it is excellent. I'll give you a small example. While we were there in US, and there was an internal flight from Buffalo to New York. We were just going there. We had taken a flight. So there, the moment they saw us, everybody was not asked to remove the shoes. And and the people they were asked to remove the shoes, they were taking their shoes and they were putting that on the tray. But the moment they saw us, The tray was thrown. The tray was thrown to us. I don't know how I'm telling it on a live incident, but yes, these are the challenges where we had faced. The tray was thrown, and we were asked to put our shoes on that, and we were asked to, you know, keep a different line altogether. So that was little disgusting. But yes, things those are little bit challenges. I don't know that can be taken as a challenge or not, but that these are certain things that always gives you a backseat, you take a foot back, that why is this so, why it is happening. So these are few challenges when we go international, but nowadays I think that this is not happened. I can cite you one more example with this. This was again in US. The After I had spoken, I had presented my paper. The delegation of Poland, she didn't rise up. So while our national anthem was played, so once the national anthem was over, I told that I felt bad, and because the Polish delegate did not stand for the Indian national anthem, so what we can do for this. So immediately the international anthem was put up again, and the delegate of the Poland, she was asked to stand. And today we are good friends on LinkedIn, and this year we had met also. She had come to India and we had met also. So these are interesting episodes that comes in. But yes, challenges, while you have that thorough knowledge and experience, then speaking and taking up the topics is not a challenge. But yes, the challenge is how you are accepted there and how you are received there. Those are few challenges that you can see. But nowadays, India being coming up such strongly, having such a bold face outside. I was very happy when in it was in Stockholm. In Stockholm, in one of the schools when we had visited, the child came when he heard that we are from India. He came and asked me, "You are from the country of Modi?" I told, yes, we are from the country of Modi. So that was a student of grade 6. So nice things, but yeah, nothing more challenges in these other things representing our country. But yes, here and there, these small things that gives you a thought, that, oh, you are not considered into that group of people. So those are few episodes here.
Yeah, it happens. And we are a part of it, and we have to accept it sometimes and just move forward. Okay, ma'am. You must be certainly having some role models. Any people as your role models, or there must be people who have inspired you, or the people who must have supported you in your good and bad times. So, who were those people?
Oh, definitely my parents and my husband. It and after now, whatever I am doing, it is completely my husband. He's also a coach and a mentor. He's also a publisher. His books are the bestsellers in Amazon. Dr. Snehashish Datta. So, he has always backed me. And wherever I wanted, whatever courses I had wished to take up, and wherever I wanted to move out, he had always encouraged and supported me. And he's the person who will always tell me that these are the upcoming new things that you can go for it, that will enhance your career, that will give you little more understanding, deeper understanding to your facts. So yes, definitely it is my parents, my husband, and in my professional life, I would like to mention about Manila ma'am, who is now the principal for DPS East. From her, I have learned a lot, many things, and I'm still learning. So she's always there. And my own family stands very strong with me. My brother is also an IS officer, and my sister is also an IS officer. So, speaking to them and understanding more about all these things, they always come up with new ideas. And the thought process is very dynamic in our family. So when we sit whenever we meet during vacations, or whether it is a dinner table, so instead of talking anything else, it is always what we can do, how the things are happening, what are the new vistas we can join. So all these things are always a hot topic to discuss. So I think there I feel, and my father basically, she he will always encourage me to take up the new things. And he will always be asking that, where is your paper, when are you publishing your next paper, what is the next course you are taking up, why these things you have not done yet. So he's always like, during my PhD also, he was my reader. So he will always read my thesis and will tell me that whether I'm in the topic or out of the topic. So in that way, my family stands strong, and they have always helped me. And now my son, who is in the second year of engineering, computer engineering, he is always that, yes, Mama, these are certain things that now the student faculty need, and here are this field you can always go ahead. So these are certain things, and these are the people in my life, those who had always supported me. And I don't remember my husband saying me no at any place wherever I wanted to do a course, because every 6 months I enroll for a new course. And within 6 months and 7 months, those certification courses is, there are many courses that I have done. I have mentioned very few in my profile, but yes, I keep doing all those things. So he will never say me no. And different things, different like other courses which he feels that I should do, he also brings with that. And sometimes it happens that he makes an enrollment and then he informs me that I have made your enrollment, please join your classes from these days. So that had also happened.
That's again great, ma'am. That's amazing. Yeah. And yes, we need someone. Like actually, we need someone to support us. Actually, when we talk about, especially about the family members, whether they are our parents, our husbands, or children, they are our best supporters, and they're also our critics. When we
Yeah.
go wrong, yes, they are always there to tell, okay, here you're going wrong. Here you need to improve.
Yes,
And
they
that
are the
again,
rectifiers as well.
yeah, of course, they are the ones who are always there. And then, can you just share about some of your long-term or short-term goals that you have made for you?
Okay. Short term goals, I would like to say now, like NEP is coming up. I was talking with the new education policy that has come up. I was also working before to this position of the principal. I was also working as an NEP implementer
Yeah.
into the different schools. So now with the NEP, we know that many various things have come up. Scholastic works have been added, and many things are there which the students need an upgradation. So my short-term goal is to bring that complete NEP standards to our school, where we have already started collaborating with different for in national and international organizations. Very recently, in December, we signed the MOU with Mr. David Lightbulb de facto ed from London. Now the students will be doing the certification courses, and they will be getting the certificates from registered London uh, UK government and London University. So but this is a small, when we talk about the small goals for this sector of students where I am connected to, where they are looking on to me, that what I am going to introduce and how I am going to help shape it for them. So there are many things, like we have collaborated with various companies where they are going to come, like Logiquids. It is with IIT Kanpur, where the students are writing their exams and they are learning the logic aptitudes with the IITians very nicely. And I was quite happy with the performances of the students. The parents were surprised that their children can do this good. So these are certain things that is happening. These are the short term goals for me, where I just want to bring in this. I will not call it as an extravaganza, but yes, in a way, if you look, it is coming up in a way of extravaganza to the learning of the students, where they will come to know where they stand today. and what are those things that they are going to achieve in the future, and what is the right and the correct pathway that is leading them to that future. So that is a short term goal. Long term goals are basically with certain things where we are looking ahead to make this coaching and mentoring go abroad with the different. Now we are having clients of UK, of Australia, and from Canada. So we are planning that how this in the long term goals, we can reach out to more and more universities, more and more clientele base, where we can extend the thought process of what India is doing and India is coming up with and India will be leading. So that is one way, that is one long term thing that we are planning and we are in the making of it. I think, yeah, that's what I have not thought of much.
Yeah, no, that's really very good. And one thing that I use for constantly also with you, you have talked very much about the thought process. And yes, ma'am, this is our thought process, the thoughts that come in our mind. It all the kinds of action, reactions, or behavior, all are dependent on the thought process. And it was so nice. Every time you
Yeah.
talked about thought
Yeah, with
process,
this short term
that
goal,
is the
I
thing.
would like to include that we are now having some 200 students in our native, where we are giving them free education, and our ancestral house is used for them as an institution to learn. So in the long term, we were just planning that if we can open all the rooms and we can make it free education for all the students, those who wanted to come from far and near. And now the strength is only 200. So we are planning to make it in a big way. And we have a good collection of books, where book bank. We have a small book bank also, which is having more than 4 to 5 thousand of books. So those books are also distributed among these children. So if we can open that book bank in a better way, the more the students read, the better the students get equipped by the knowledge. So that knowledge equipment through these books is very important. And the importance of the books is, if you see nowadays, the importance of the books is losing. Everybody is taking to the digital platform, but books always have a very special role in our life, in our society, educating and keeping our culture and our solidarity strong. So that is also a goal where we see that we can enhance it, and that distribution of the books, free books, that what we are doing can go ahead in much more bigger way.
So it's really good to know, ma'am. And it was really good. And it was a pleasure talking to you, hearing from you, and knowing about you and all the work that have been doing. And you have been doing a wonderful job. And especially like you talked about the free education that you're giving. That's really a wonderful thing to know. And as you hope to start it on a bigger scale, you want to expand it. So when you're working for a good cause, so there are the help just starts coming from the universe, it says, and
Yeah.
surely it will happen one day, what you are hoping for. So thank you very much for joining the show
Thank
and
you so
sharing
much. It was a
your
pleasure.
journey.
It was a
Thank
pleasure.
you. It was a
Thank you
pleasure
so much.
for us too. And yes, of course, thanks to Ravi Shankar sir, Deenul and Zenith ma'am for this wonderful bringing up this wonderful concept of beyond education. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.